Okay, this video is on the properties of surds, or square roots if you like. So you get a couple of equations in junior cert maths where you have to rearrange some square roots and bring them together and bring them apart, and it can be a little bit of a tricky area sometimes. So I'm just going to through some easy examples just to give you the basic instructions and how the rules work. So the first rule tells us that root a times b can be split into root a times root b. Now one thing I want you to notice is no plus or minuses in any of these. It's not as easy to split then. So just be aware that if it was the root a plus b, I could not split that. But root a multiplied by b can be split by the properties of surds. So an example might be like this. What if you had the square root of 50? Well, let's think of the factors of 50. And can we find a perfect square? And there's a reason why I want to find the perfect square, because it'll make my answer much nicer. So factors of 50, there's lots. There's 5 by 10, there's 1 by 50 of course, but don't do anything. So you have 2 by 25. So root 25 times root 2. Now if we look at these two square roots, we can see that the first one, root 25, is actually 5, and root 2 we can't actually do anything with. So actually, if you put square root of 50 into your calculator, it will give you 5 root 2, and that's how it does it. What about the next one? It says the square root of a fraction like this you can split into individual square roots, top and bottom. So an example would be something like this. What if I had the square root of 16 over 3? Okay? So by this law, I can go like this. Square root of 16 over square root of 3. Now I can see that the square root of 16, hopefully you know, is a perfect square is 16, so we actually get 4 for that, and underneath then we leave it as root 3. So again, if you put square root of 16 over 3 into your calculator, this is what you'll get. And the final rule, root a by root a. So if you have two square roots of the same thing inside, yeah, they effectively cancel if you like, right? So this is a nice one to remember. You must be careful. It must be exactly the same stuff underneath. It can't be plus or minus anything. Can't be different letters. If it was A, B, and A, B, yeah, they would cancel because it'd be the same thing. But it just has to be the same thing underneath the square roots. But even if we took an example, say like this, root 5 times root 5. Yeah, square roots go, and that just gives us the 1, 5. Not 25, the 1, 5. But if I did it like this example, and I said root 5 times root 5 was equal to, now remember we can bring these two together going back the way, that's root 5 times 5, which essentially is the root of 25, which is equal to 5. That's just another way of doing it, and might prove to you why this happens. Okay, so again, if you put square root of 5 times 5 into your calculator, you'll get 5. Now, I've done a small few examples which we'll work through using these properties. Now let's look at root 8, so an easy one to start off with. Let's think of the factors of 8. So again, we're looking for this perfect square. There it is in 4. 4 is what? 4 is 2 squared, so the square root of 4 is 2. So root 8 is 2 root 2. Root 300, that's going to be 3 times 100. Now there are many factors, but I'm trying to think of the biggest perfect square I can think of. What's the square root of 100? Well, that's 10. So effectively I have root 3 times 10, or 10 root 3, and again, put this in your calculator, this is what you'll get. This one. So this one we're going to use the fraction rule, which is this rule here. So root 25 by root 16, or over 16. That gives us root 25 over root 16, so I split the square root individually to each term, and you can see the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 16 is 4. So again, put this in your calculator, this is what you get. The final one, that's much like this example here, root 3 by root 3. The square roots go, and it's just 3, or root 3 by root 3. We can bring the numbers underneath together. That's 9, which of course is equal to 3, so the same answer. Now what about this one here? So here we have to multiply out the brackets. So let's see what we get here. There's a couple of things going on here. So you should hopefully know that in multiplying brackets, it's going to be this times this, and then this times this, and this times this, plus this times this. So 2 times 2, 4. 2 times minus root 3, well there's a minus there and a plus here, so it's going to be minus 2. I feel like I have 2 root 3s now. Again, 2 times root 3, or root 3 times 2, they're both plus, so that's plus 2 times root 3. Now, plus root 3 by a minus root 3. It's a plus by a minus, giving us a definite minus. Root 3 by root 3, it's going to be exactly like this scenario here. This is going to give us a regular 3. Minus 2 times root 3. Two things are the same, one's plus, one is minus. So you have 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. Okay? So you can see that something that looks difficult there it's actually simplified down to 1. What about a slightly tougher example, where we add and subtract surds? Now, you can add and bring group together like terms, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And this is a more common type junior cert exam question, say. Root 50, let's split that. So that's root 25 by root 2. Why did I pick 25 by 2 and not 5 by 10? Well, because 5 and 10 aren't perfect squares, and 25 is. 25, square root of 25, we should know to be 5. 32. So what's that going to be? That's going to be root 16 by root 2. What's the square root of 16? 4. Now we have the plus in the middle. And the final one, 98. So maybe this may be a bit trickier. So let's think of the biggest number and factors we can get. So for instance, I know 98 is 2 times 49. So root 49 by root 2. And now you may spot that the actual square root of 49 is 7. We had a minus in here. Now, I have 5 root 2's and I have 4 root 2's. That means here I have a total of 9 root 2's minus 7 root 2 here. 9 root 2's, and I take away 7 of those root 2's. That's just equal to, I only have 2 root 2's left. So hopefully that's a typical example of what you may be trying to solve at the minute, but I will do more difficult ones in the future. But at the moment, that's just a simple introduction to surds.